Ladies and gentlemen, welcome! This is video number 24 of our MCA Trading Made Simple series. Today we're going to talk about trading psychology. It's a big topic, and I've done videos in the past about it. I will do videos in the future about it. But here we would like to do a little nice overview. So what actually is trading psychology? I found this definition here just by Googling. Refers to the emotional and mental patterns that influence how people behave in financial markets. Emotions such as fear, greed, pride, regret, and overconfidence often play a bigger role in investment decisions than many investors realize. As you can see, so it's a big field. Okay, so mental patterns, I like that kind of expression, and we see the word behave. So think about it. Yeah, a trader is a decision maker. You make many decisions every single day, and we're gonna go into detail what kind of decisions you're actually doing, some of which you may not be aware of. But to make a long story short, in trading you make a lot of decisions. You do a lot of analysis, and then you translate that analysis into your actual trade implementation. So there you make many decisions. So what to trade, whether to buy or to sell, how much to buy or to sell, where to place your stop, where to place your target, whether you should wait with a trade, how much you should risk on the trade, and so on and so on. So we're gonna get into all of that in a minute. But just to have a bit of a big picture view, okay, we're talking about all of your mental patterns, okay? It's not just emotions, it goes way beyond it, as I will show you now, okay? So this definition here is a little bit narrow, but that's okay. So I would like to give you an example. If you just pick the topics of patience and discipline, here are some of the relevant aspects, and I made this list today, yeah? You need patience to wait for the right setup, okay? To let a trade run, to wait for the right market conditions to trade, okay? Patience to accept that trading is a marathon rather than a sprint. Patience to stay with the strategy and to avoid system hopping. Patience to adjust to the market rhythm. Patience to change from defensive to offensive and then the other way around, etc. Okay, so even if you just pick this single topic, you see how important it is, and that you do not just make mistakes and have a bad execution. Okay, you need the right mindset. So to come back to this whole topic, we are talking about your complete mindset, okay, regarding your trading, okay? Now if you look at the topic of discipline, which is definitely a big part in that, look how it is needed in all kinds of different ways. Discipline to wait for the right setups, discipline to skip dodgy setups, discipline to stick to your strategy, discipline to avoid concentrated risk, discipline to not overtrade, discipline to use reasonable leverage, discipline to place a stop, discipline to move the stop, to not move the stop, sorry, discipline to manage the trade correctly, discipline to go home with a loss. Yeah, some days are just losing days, you have to accept it, and you have to go home and fight the next day. Discipline to not engage in P&L chasing, okay? If you're down, trying to force a day into a green day, don't do that. Discipline to wait after the news, discipline to filter out lower time frame noise, discipline to control emotions such as greed and fear, etc. Okay? So you see, when I pick those topics, these are all different subtopics which apply and which you should be aware of. Okay? But in my opinion, the whole topic of trading psychology, as I said before, is wide. Okay? It implies many things, not just managing your emotions and having discipline and patience. It's really about your complete mindset, okay? So it also includes how you execute the trades according to your strategy, how your brain functions in that moment, yeah? And now we can go as deep as you want, and that's actually quite interesting. So it implies many things, okay? Many mental aspects, okay? Like including the mental strength you need. If you take it even further, yeah, we're talking about who you actually are, yeah, your self-image, your self-awareness, your actual motives, your behavioral patterns, your consciousness, your subconsciousness, your assumptions, your worldview, okay? All of these things, they will come out in one way or another in your trading, in your decisions, okay? Like assumptions, some people they think trading is easy and they trade accordingly and then they lose money, okay? Some people are super greedy, they try to make as much money as possible, they over leverage and they lose. Some people don't even know themselves well. they assume they are a certain way, where the reality is that they are completely different. This is why trading is quite a spiritual activity, believe it or not. And now we come to some really interesting saucy stuff. Like here I mentioned impeccability. This expression comes from Carlos Castaneda. And you may ask yourself, what the heck? Like, what does ancient Mexican shamanism have to do with forex trading today? Quite a lot. You will be surprised. I myself have been a student of Carlos Castaneda for various years now. And I can tell you there are many, many techniques which are beneficial. Two of them are recapitulation and stalking. Next to all kinds of other things such as wake dreaming and tense equity. But that's another topic. But obviously, if you go really deep and you really not only just self-analyze your own psyche and your existence and your psychology, but you even go further, you go to the energetic level, which is something that you can do via those old amazing techniques, you will see that this is super beneficial for your trading psychology. And I encourage you to go. Okay, so talking about impeccability, the concept of impeccability is most famously known from the teachings of Toltec shaman Don Juan Matos, as passed down in the works of Carlos Castaneda and Toltec wisdom. To be impeccable is to do everything with full awareness that life is fleeting. Well, this definition is a bit narrow. It's really about whatever you're doing is done with awareness. Everything matters. You're not doing random things. Okay? Everything has intent behind it. Everything you do is intentional. You are moving and diverting your intent to very specific things. You're not randomly doing things without consciousness, okay? And obviously for trading, that's very important. You need impeccability in trading. Everything you do has to be with intent, okay? You should not just give in to some shallow emotion or shallow motives, like you want to make this day a profitable day. Okay, and that's why trading forces you to go really deep on yourself and to really understand yourself. And this is super, super interesting. So just to mention two very cool techniques. One is recapitulation. Okay, recapitulating your life is a technique where you make a, let's say, a list of the 10 most intense moments of your life, or the 10 people which have impacted you the most, and you go through this memory several times until you're really emotionally detached from it. And you can actually do that in trading, yeah? I recommend you. Make a list of the 5 worst trades you ever did and the 5 best trades. Go through them in your memory, okay? And do not just analyze, but actually let go. Okay, let go of the good ones as well as the bad ones. Okay, you can also move your head from left to right and breathe in and breathe out. But the point is to actually completely detach emotionally from these experiences, so that you're more empty, okay, that you're less biased, and you have a better perception, that you can actually see things for what they are without too much bias. Okay, that's very important. You understand? There are other techniques such as stalking, so doing something completely different than before. Like we try to eliminate behaviors which come out of weakness. Okay, so for example in trading, that means if you always take profits early, then try to make it a point to actually let trades run, for example. Yeah. If you're always over trading, make it a point to actually be super selective. I should really make a separate video just about that topic, because it's so interesting and it has helped me a lot and it will help you too. Okay, really research Carlos Castaneda. It's an incredible topic and it is actually super helpful for manual trading, which is not surprising. Okay. Okay, so this is all very interesting. It goes very deep. Okay, your own psyche, which leads you to actually make decisions. And as you will know quickly in trading, any mistakes quickly cost you money. So we really try to minimize any mistakes. Now, even if you do not make mistakes, you still can lose money, because losing trades are part of the game. The question is, how do you handle these? Okay, how do you respond to all of that? The truth is, you need mental strength and mental control. Whether you win or you lose, you need to be the pilot in the pilot seat. Okay, you need to have full accountability. You need to really take ownership of your trades. Don't blame others, don't blame the market, don't blame the algos. You are the decision maker, and Especially if you have the MK web, okay, you see what's going on. So it's all about how well you execute, how well you analyze, whether you have understood all the aspects, or whether you should do more studying or more practicing. Okay, so take ownership as a trader. All right, be humble as well. Don't think you're the master of the universe. You're not. Okay, be humble. The market can move the price wherever. It's your job to trade in a way that benefits you and that prevents you from losing. Okay, so you see, like, by just those topics, you see already that it goes deep, because we're touching topics such as your self-image and your assumptions about the world and everything around you. Yeah, even your worldview. Okay, it quickly comes to those kind of topics. So really, I encourage you, ask yourself, who are you? Yeah, who are you? Why are you doing what you're doing? Okay, whether it's bad or good. Okay, have awareness. Why are you trading in the first place? What's your intent? Okay, do you want to make reasonable returns and protect your capital? Or do you have some wrong assumptions and you follow some scammers out there and you think that you can make millions and millions in 2 months? Okay, have awareness. Do not just be shallow about these things, because guess what? Garbage in, garbage out. Your trading will also be shallow if you are yourself shallow. Don't allow for that to happen. Okay, understand yourself. Catch yourself doing wrong things. Okay, you lost the trade, now you're emotional, a new setup comes, and of course you want to place more leverage. But is that leverage actually justified, or are you just acting out of emotions? You actually do not have the patience and the discipline to say, you know what, I'm going to skip this trade, it's not good enough. And the flip side is people who are completely fragile in their mindset. For them, trading is not good. If you are a person who has not a strong mindset, trading is not for you. Develop these things first. Go back to the drawing board, okay? Do some work on yourself, inner work. Go as deep as you can. Because you will not make it otherwise, okay? If you're someone who just doesn't have the discipline to prevent yourself from really getting yourself into trouble by clicking a few buttons you shouldn't have clicked, you are at risk. If you don't have the patience to wait for things and you think it's like a computer game where you can click your buttons all the time, you don't have the right mindset. If you're super fearful and you never place a trade and you never pull the trigger, you need to work on that. If you're the opposite of that and you're clicking and trading everything, you're not selective enough. Try to be as impeccable as you can in trading and your life, okay? Try to be impeccable in your life. Okay? Why are you doing what you're doing? Plan your days. When are you doing what? Plan your resources. Plan your time. Be very aware what your actual priorities are. What are you directing your energy, attention, and resources towards? Why? Why are you doing that? Okay? The better you can answer all those questions, the more strength you already have developed. If you don't have convincing answers to that, you will know it yourself. That shows you that you need to go deeper and back to the drawing board, okay? And by the way, if you're a really nasty personality, like some of those people you see online and stuff, and you're nasty, go back to the drawing board. You shouldn't even talk about trading. You first should work on yourself. Don't be an ass, okay? Try to be a good person. Whatever your belief system and worldview is and whatever, try to be a good person. Understand yourself. Don't be a cynic, okay? Don't be negative. Get negativity out of your system. And then the only things you have to work on is resilience. And if you have a bad phase, to get back on your feet, okay? And to be a fighter. But to learn from your mistakes, okay? You can make all kinds of mistakes, but don't repeat the mistakes all the time. Grow, okay? And this is developing into a bit of a rant, but that's good. Adjust, adapt. If you see something doesn't work, then stop doing that, okay? Be open-minded. You have to be adaptive in trading. It's necessary. That's why so many people fail. We have talked so much about the market manipulation, causality, and algos and all of that. But this stuff here is on you, okay? For trading to work for you, you need to have three aspects. The edge, the causality, proper risk management, which is reasonable, and trading psychology. So your mindset, how you are implementing everything on a daily basis. Day in, day out, night in, night out. So it's a marathon, okay? You have to be good all the time. You can't just trade well for 5 days and then lose it on the 6th day and then gamble around and give it all back or increase your drawdown. You understand? This is so important. It's so simple, yet so few people can actually do that in the right way. That's what the statistical evidence shows. Be better than that, because it's not super complex. This is not rocket science. It is actually common sense. Okay? When you think about it, it is common sense. And that's true for investing as well as trading. Read the books of Warren Buffett. Read the books on trading psychology if you want to go deeper on all of that. But know who you are, okay? Why are you doing things? What are your weaknesses? Where do you need to improve? Traders always try to improve. Whether it's going well or not, they always want to improve. There's always things to improve, okay? Recently, my own trading, I improved so much by letting trades run more. Not cutting so early. There's no reason. If you caught a nice trade and there are other targets, let it run to those targets, okay? Don't just cut it here, okay? These are very important aspects of trading. And if you have assumptions which are incorrect, correct them, okay? Look at the actual evidence and reality. The only way to develop the causality was, as I've said many times, to have that radical approach where I said, you know what? First, I just observe how it is. And then only after I've observed the reality, then I will draw any rules and conclusions. Not the other way around. I don't come with my mind ideas and impose them on reality. No. I take reality for what it is without judging. Okay? And then I derive from that reality, this evidence, how this works. You understand? You have to do the same for your own trading. There's no question about it. Okay? All kinds of high performance activities such as high performance sports and so on, they require that kind of mindset. And it's a super interesting topic, and it's something where you can always improve and can always work on. And traders love to do that, okay? But there are of course different consciousness levels. Some people, as I've shown in the video before, are on very low consciousness levels, which is okay. Over time, with more experience, they will be able to grow into higher consciousness levels. But even if you are on a high consciousness level, make sure that you are humble and you still do trading in the right way without messing up things. It's very easy to mess up things in trading. So be better than that. Lots of love.